Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Micah Frankel. Interviews are energized by our friends at Dubby. Merchandise available at ziashirts.com. Hair's looking a lot better this time around for Jessica Borga. Done at Barber, Gabe's Fades, Lobo Plaza here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I already said her name. We have the history making, the first ever BKFC Women's Featherweight Champion of the world joining us. Jessica Borga. Belt looks great right there next to you. How you doing?
Thank you. Yeah, keep it close. Keep it protected at all times.
Gotta ask the first question. How does it feel to be on top of the world?
Honestly, it's surreal. It's hard to put into words. I think it hits everyone a little later than it hits the world. But to, do what I did in 26 seconds, I have a lot of confidence in myself, but still it's almost unreal. It's like a dream.
So we got some time. Let's take this step by step. First question, the first thing I want to talk about, many people may not actually get it. We talked before the interview, and you were leaving a couple days later. The first big battle is that travel. I don't know how many people really understand it because they have to think about it when they're there. You never have a fun experience at the airport, and I can't imagine what going all the way. Nothing bad about Dubai. It's just 14 hours on a
That's
plane.
flight.
What was that like?
Honestly, you're absolutely correct. I think a lot of people, even fighters, don't understand how much traveling can take out of them. It really does, if you haven't done it. I was lucky enough to travel a lot in my amateur career, so I really got prepared, I feel like, for, traveling internationally and across the country and stuff like that at a really early stage in my career, and I really think that benefited me. So I can, thank you to my MMA coach who really threw me into the fire and really tested all the waters with me in amateur before I went pro. So I can really thank him for that because I think it really did benefit me. But yeah, it takes a lot out of you. It does. No one enjoys that ride, no matter how fit you are, no matter how young you are. It doesn't matter. That flight will take some out of you, and of course the time difference and stuff like that. But I also have some recovery tools that I'm using now that helps with the jet lag and stuff like that. That is just incredible. It's like a electrical stimulation on your legs, so it really helps you not be sore, and you're, from sitting that long, your back and everything just tighten up. It helps a lot with that. So I've learned how to adapt to that, but it's absolutely something that's a learning curve for a lot of fighters, a lot of people.
Were you tired? What was the feeling like after the process, that long flight? How did you feel?
Honestly, I got lucky on the way there. I had a whole row to myself, which never happens. And so I got very lucky, and it was just everything played into everything very well before the fight. Like the universe is on my side now. Like I feel like me and the universe, we matched up. But I got the whole world to myself, so I got to sleep like 7 hours. So that really did help. On the way back, though, after the fight, that one was a full flight. I had like barely one seat to myself, someone's toes on me behind me. It was a very entertaining flight, must I say, the least.
We know that you're basically on weight all the time. We've seen it on the Instagram. So, what was the process of that couple days like once you get to Dubai and you're acclimating to being out there and you're putting the finishing touches on?
Honestly, I think that's what benefits me as well because so many people they cut so much weight and that flight can really alter your weight and your weight cut. And they don't understand that until they're there and they realize that, your body's going to hold on to stuff from the flight, so on and so forth. But that's why I'm so good at 145. I stay, no more than 155 ever. No more than 155. I don't like to be that far away. I want to be able to fight at last minute. I don't want the flights to bother me or interfere at all. So it really does help. I think people should fight closer to their weight class. It's a lot less problems, a lot less hassle, a lot less stress.
Do you feel like that's almost a misconception about you? People think that you're walking around huge, cutting all this weight. I don't know where that came from, but I feel like there's that narrative out there.
Yeah, Don't get me wrong, like any of the fighters I think can really gain. I can gain weight. My first bare knuckle fight, I cut, no, I'm sorry, my second bare knuckle fight, I cut 25 pounds. So like I just choose not to. I like to walk around closer to my weight class. That's also because, I had a surgery and I put on some weight. I'm human. You do that. I can do that. I just prefer and am happier to be continuously, healthy. I like to be healthy. I like to be ready, and I don't like to drain my body of fluids before a boxing match. That's just stupid.
When you're out, you're in the hotel, you're in Dubai. Do you and Hannah ever run into each other anywhere around the hotel before the press conference, before the weigh-ins?
We did. She didn't really make any kind of eye contact or anything with me. Her coaches were nice. They were like, "Hey, they shook hands and stuff like that. They were respectful. She just still stuck with her, like, okay, all right, it's fine. It is what it is."
You, you feel like the time change, was there any sort of day or two adjustment, or did it take any kind of time for that?
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, of course, it definitely does. It takes about 3 days. They have like a little chart that you can look up and like see how many days it'll get you to acclimate in different time zones. And for that much time, I mean, it was an 8 hour time difference. So it's a big time difference. And it took about 3 days for me to really feel back to myself, which isn't too bad. It's not too bad at all. I was out there a week early. So, but even when I wasn't feeling myself, I still had energy and everything, just a little more tired. That's all.
It's not often that a fighter weighs in and there's this whole other big, huge event going on the same night. Did you go to the first night of events? What are you doing after weigh-ins?
Yeah, I really wanted to. I really wanted to fight the first night so that I could go and enjoy the night, the second night. But I was in my hotel room. I still was watching on the app, so I still definitely tuned in to watch everyone. I always support Britain Hart, and yeah, I like her opponent too. They were both very awesome people. Ty and Ray, they're both great fighters, great people. So I definitely wanted to tune in at least, but I wasn't there. I was just resting.
Skipped over something there. Oh yeah, there was this little interaction before that other thing I was just mentioning. Did you expect that kind of animosity or boil over? You see that she's being non-committal to even saying hello in the hotel, and then there's friction.
Yeah, I knew that there was, I mean, I knew that there was, beef between us. Everyone knew that. But at some point, in my mind, I'm like, all right, we're fighters. We're here to do the same thing. This is business. I get it. But I did not expect her to touch me. I did not expect her to be that dumb. I'm sorry. I did, yeah, in my whole entire career, MMA and boxing, like I've never had someone dumb enough. You can get this close to my face. That's fine. But we are paid to touch each other the next night, and I'm not gonna sit there and let you touch me. That's not ever gonna happen. Anyone who knows me knows that, but I guess she wasn't aware.
That raised the level of emotional intensity for you.
Yeah, it did, but it also was hilarious because she made a post after that because I tapped her fast tap. But after she had touched me, it was also she touched me the previous night at the press conference. She still did that little thing with her fist. I was like, all right, I let that one slide because it really didn't touch me. I was like, okay, that was dumb. I let that slide. But then at the actual weigh-in is when she put her fist on my face, and I shrugged it off like stop it, and she pushed my face with her fist, and I'm like, and it was just a reaction for me, honestly, like don't touch me, and I just kind of tapped her. But she made a post after that about I was told that you have hand like saying that she was told that I have power. I do have power. I said, don't worry, sweetheart. I said, I tapped you. You'll feel every bit of my power tomorrow night. But it was just funny that she had said that, I'm in big trouble now. I felt your power. I'm like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't.
I've talked to Jahad before. I've studied the shift team. There's some real thoughtful guys there. Do they almost feel like, and I'm sure that the gratification of winning is everything, but that making a game plan for you is almost worthless with that power?
No, no, the game plan is so important no matter what. Honestly, the technique with the power has made it to where, I mean, you saw I was knocking the girls down, the TKOs beforehand. Now that I have the power and the technique and the game plan, everything is coming together, and I can thank my coaches and my team for that. Also my strength and conditioning coach, they're specifically working on making me way more dangerous each fight. And I've shown it. I've shown that it is increasing each fight. So I'm just getting started in this. I'm excited. I'm stoked to see what's to come because of that in particular. The game plan, we always try to go with the game plan. We actually didn't expect her in the last fight, though, to try to be the bigger bully. I thought she was going to outbox me, honestly. But yeah.
That's how I would have called it, the power puncher versus the technician. And how surprised were you in that moment that you're like, he wants to make this a dogfight? What are you doing here? This isn't your game.
I was, I was, but I slipped all her first punches. I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. I was like, that's fine. So I had to get my placement in front of her after her coming in. Then she tried to kind of even like wrestle a little bit. I'm like, that's crazy to me. Like, that's crazy. I'm the ex MMA. She have no wrestling at all. Don't even try that clinch game, really. But it was entertaining nonetheless. It was entertaining.
Two right hands that land. How hurt? Because you're right there. Was she from the first right hand?
Honestly, I heard her with a jab. I saw it in her eyes that I heard her. You could see a stiff jab and her face go back, and I could see it in her eyes. I can usually always see it in their eyes as soon as they feel my power with my jab. Um, then I just saw the opening. She kind of came in like she was hurt, in my opinion, like she wasn't herself. I saw the opening. I hit her with one, and then I saw the opening right after. So just went for it.
Went for it. Knockout happens. Best knockout of your career?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I made history by the first ever female to knock out in bare knuckle history. Like, yeah, yeah, for sure. It's like I said, it's surreal. I'm the first champion from my hometown. I'm, the first ever to get female to get KO of the night. I made so many firsts. And I actually beat her in 26 seconds, but they're calling it in 32. But we sent in the video. We're like, hey, he called it at 26 seconds. So if that's the case, I'm also the fastest finish in female with BKFC as well. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you're like just a nice little night, nice little night.
Just another first. And it's surreal. I even to say it out loud, it's like I said, it's almost unreal. you know.
In the elation of losing your mind afterwards, do you remember what you're screaming out? Do you remember what that celebration was like?
Oh man, especially with her, I said this is bare knuckle, not boxing because that was a big thing. She's like, oh, with all my accolades, it's almost like she was trying to talk herself into that she was actually going to win with all that. But I said, this is not boxing. This is bare knuckle. This is a different sport, and now you're in my world. And I do remember yelling, this is bare knuckle, not boxing. And I think I might have said "fuck you." I don't know. I might have said that too. I'm pretty sure right after it happened, and she like fell down. I was like, "Fuck you." But
You're
I don't have many problems with opponents, Like this is the second opponent I've ever had any issues with. I've always been pretty respectful, but when it's down to business, it's business. I don't care to be friends beforehand, but I'll respect afterwards. I even went up to her afterwards and said, it is what it is beforehand, it's all business. I respect you stepping in the ring with me. I don't know if she was even conscious enough. She was laying in going into a stretcher to the hospital, so I don't know if she remembered that, but it's business. It is what it is. We built that fight.
I can imagine in that state of mind. She's like, some nice girl came up to me and said some really nice
Yes.
things.
Honestly, that's what her face looked like. She was like, "Oh, hi." I'm like, "Oh man." But that was also, I was told by the doctors, like they have to go back and correct everything now because there wasn't ever a concussion also for a female, and now there has been one. So I was like, sorry, I ruined all your stats.
You're hurting the medical evidence that said this was safe.
Most people may be safe. I'm not safe. I'm a very dangerous one to go against. Which I don't want to keep saying that because I want people to step up. I want to grow this division. We're just gonna need someone with balls. We're gonna have to have some tough chicks. And I mean, honestly, I think all the bare knuckle women are tough. And men.
The moment you won, I had to jump on X and is it time for Jessica Borga versus Chris Cyborg? Chris Cyborg was a name that we had been throwing out there in conversation with Christine Faria, and that would have been
Which is
Christine
crazy
moving
to me.
up.
Yeah, that's to me that just doesn't make sense. I get it for Christine, it's money. It's a big name fight. If she's wanting a way out, because she's a little older, if she's wanting a way out, that'd be a good like, okay, I lost against Chris Cyborg. Like like I can see that being a good way out if she did lose, which I do think she would. Size and power does come into play with this sport, but I would love to. I would love to fight Cyborg at any point in time. Who knows? I don't know if she's gonna even do bare knuckle or whatnot, but of course, that would be a fight of a lifetime for me. I would love it. It's like Cyborg against Cyborga. I love it.
Exactly. Or the other option, if Christine was going to go up to 45 to fight
Or
Chris,
40.
does
Yeah, I offered her 40. I absolutely would fight her at any point in time at 140. Like I said, it's not like I'm cutting a whole bunch of weight. She don't have to worry about that. She doesn't have to worry about that with me. I'm not cutting a whole bunch of weight. I stay pretty close to my weight class, as everyone knows. I like staying lean. I like staying ready. She, as far as I know, I've been told she walks around at 140 or between 135 and 145. So it's not like she would have to cut much. Like she's not cutting. She wouldn't have to like gain a lot. She wouldn't have to really do much there. So I would
feels
love
like
that.
that's the fight to make because I don't know of many featherweight fights that we're really making in BKFC. Do you foresee a name that's a possibility to challenge you?
Honestly, the division is fairly newer. So I know that they are building. Anyone who wants to come in, they're probably going to have a contender fight to now, to be able to fight the champ, which I get that too. I just hope it doesn't take too long. Honestly, I don't have any names specifically, but I'm sure there's going to be more now that there's a title to fight for. I'm guaranteeing that there's going to be people coming in, and I'm sure there's going to be good boxers. There's going to be good MMA people that want to transition, into this sport. So just hopeful soon.
That's what we're looking at for the women's division. We have three incredible champions, and we need some challengers. Or even if you saw this past weekend with the fight night in Omaha, we just need more activity because I don't want to see the doctor who won this weekend get shoved into a fight that she's not prepared for just
Yeah.
because she looks to be the only one that hasn't fought Britain yet, basically.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. It's crazy, it is what it is with the sports that are just it hasn't been around that long yet. Same thing happened with UFC, it took some years for the women's division to build. The 145 still a difficult division, even as you know in MMA, but it doesn't make sense to me why. But it's easier to find boxers coming in because they have those weight classes and stuff like that. So I think it'll just take a little bit of time, unfortunately.
Do you feel that there is a transition coming that you can see a fruit to this labor where more people will be transitioning over?
Yes, absolutely. I see that happening already, honestly. It's got to get a little more popular, but I think it's really on the right path for sure.
With that, do you feel the reception that you've gotten, social media, interview requests, stuff like that? Do you feel like there's a attention to this history and to what you've done that's a bigger spotlight than previous?
Oh yes, absolutely. This has been, and I've been told by people, like they have not had a blow up like this with anyone. Like this is, this, I get it. I get it. Like that's a huge, I called it from the beginning of my bare knuckle career. I was like, I'm gonna make history because they don't have a KO in women's yet, and I will be the first. So I manifested it. I wanted to do it. I wanted to be the first in history because no one can take that away from you. I wanted to be the first in history and the last for 145 until I'm done with it. Choose to retire. That thing's mine. 100%.
How lofty of a goal do you feel that is?
How what?
Lofty. How big?
Oh, but shoot. I honestly, I am so comfortable here. I don't feel like it's a heavy burden at all for me. Honestly, I don't, that I am going to be very hard to beat or you're going to get lucky. One of the, like, this sport is made for me. I'm made for it. People are going to realize that more I put people out.
All this success, all this achievement. It's been a really long road. We didn't get a full opportunity last time I had you on to get into it, and I'm not sure how many people. I've only heard snippets, but it sounded like there was domestic violence and trauma in your background that initially led into martial arts.
Yes, that's actually why I got started in it. I was raised my own father tried to kill me multiple times. It was my sisters and my mom finally got out, but I continued that cycle with exes until I decided to stop that. I started working out, I started getting my mind right, and I chose to stop the cycle. I chose to stop it for me, my son. I chose to, do better for myself and my family. And I did. I now have a nonprofit organization for domestic violence victims. I got started in just for defense, but the moment I started fighting, I said this is what I was meant to do. I was born in chaos. I was born in violence. This is where I'm comfortable. This is where I belong. And I think I've shown that. I think I've shown this is that's comfortable to me, and it's not for a lot of people. But if you've went through the things that I went through, that literally almost died multiple times from different people that were supposed to love me, like it teaches you a lot, but it's made me the complete savage I am today, and I wouldn't take any of my past and change it, honestly, because I like who I am.
How hard was defeating that first opponent, that inner voice? Because I'm sure there's a voice that was trying to keep you where you were, and another voice that didn't want to go talk to somebody. What was it like defeating that first big opponent?
it's definitely, it's not easy. Anyone who knows that if they're in a situation like that, it's not easy to get out. It's not easy to, it's usually a continued cycle for a long time. That trauma bond thing is a real thing, and it's not easy to get away from. You have to be very mentally strong, and you have to become mentally strong to be able to get past all the past trauma, the CPTSD and all that stuff. That's people have no idea. That's why I let out those roars after my fight, because I have went through so much that I to be able to accomplish what I have with my mental battles that I've had, like it's crazy. People would not understand how strong you have to be mentally to continue to do what I have done and did and am doing. It's I'm very thankful for the people that have helped me along the way with my mental coach, Charlie Ray with Limitless Believing. He helps rewire your brain from traumas, and it's a game changer. Honestly, your mental health is so important because, as I know, and any other fighter, the mental game is way bigger than the training and everything all put together. It just is very important.
In your recovery, like at what point did you accept that Jessica's awesome?
Man, that was actually just in the past couple of years. Since I've been with my husband is the first person in my entire life that has actually treated me with true love. And I felt what real love, I didn't even think it existed because of what I've been through. I was okay being single. I was okay being alone because I didn't think it existed. But he has shown me that there are people that can actually treat you with true love. A man actually treat you with true love that is kind. And it allowed me to heal. It allowed me to become this person that I am today. And I just, it's incredible. The difference. Even in the last 6 months, just working with Charlie Ray. And I wish I would have found him sooner because I feel like I would have been even sooner, who I am. And I just the confidence is just incredible for who I am now.
From going through your trauma to breaking free and getting into recovery, when is there a point where you're like, I really want to go hit people?
I didn't on it. Well, don't no, that's not actually correct. I was pretty much kicked out of every school I ever went to for fighting. I did fight on the streets a lot. I am it was more of I was like a vigilante without knowing I was a vigilante. Like if I saw a guy put his hands on a girl at the bar, I stepped in and I'd knock a guy out for it, like that kind of stuff. At school, if the bullies would pick on the kids that couldn't defend themselves, I didn't like that. So I would end up being a bully to the bullies. So I always have been, I have had a violent side too, I think when you're growing up around that, like that's kind of a natural thing. I wasn't allowed to play sports, so I end up doing it and creating my own sport if you if you want to say that. I feel like it helped me mentally to get it out what I needed to. It's a amazing portal, let me tell you. But when I started training, I was like, "Oh man, this is just natural for me. This is just yeah, I like punching people in the face."
It was so natural, and it's led to all of this. And it's great to see that you have the foundation, that you're using the platform in the right way. Like, when did the foundation start? How did you come up with that idea?
The nonprofit, it's been years in the making, honestly, but it's brand new. This past year, I just got it finally approved by the state and everything, and they make you jump through hoops for a nonprofit, let me tell you. But I've wanted to since my situations and since I started MMA really, but I knew it's going to take some time. I really want to put some thought into it. Now I'm actually connecting with people and I have a seminar next Sunday at 1 p.m. in Palm Harbor. And it's with another nonprofit, Ignite Her Incorporated, that has the same goals, same, supporting the cause. So I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Getting back to Dubai real quick. You spent some extra time out there.
Yeah.
What was that celebration and getting to enjoy the moment and really take it in afterwards?
Oh man, it was incredible. Dubai is just absolutely gorgeous. And just being able to get out, untouched. Well, I guess it looked like she broke her hand on my face. So I guess I am pretty hard-headed. She hit me one time. She she had a cast when she tagged me and thanked me for the fight afterwards. So I was like, all right, well maybe that one punch that she got actually broke her hand on my face. I don't know. But yeah, it was incredible. It was just, to get out unscathed is nice, You could truly enjoy yourself and just feeling on top of the world. Like I said, I don't think it hit me right away, but it was surreal.
What do you feel is next?
I just want to fight. I just want to keep fighting. I hope there's a fight sooner rather than later. I don't want to wait around for another year. I'm still going to be training as I always do. I train as if I'm in fight camp all the time. It's my life. I train multiple times every day. Like it's my life. People underestimate how much I think because I do other things as well and I'm good at juggling everything. I'm very good at being a multitasker with, a jack of many trades pretty much, but I think they highly underestimate how much I put into the sport and how dedicated I am on a regular basis.
You were part of introducing the sport at a whole nother level to a whole nother country. Did you feel the reception or the fans? Was there a difference? Did you see that kind of eye-opening while you were there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it was really nice, they're like, you're our champ, come back anytime. They were very welcoming, very World League of Fighters was just incredible. They were so BKFC and the World League of Fighters, they treated us so good. So they did the best they could to make us feel at home.
What did it feel like to get the belt put around your waist?
Oh man, it was funny because Dan's like, "Are you ready?" Like he's fixing to pull up my hand. They're announcing it and everything, and I'm like, yeah," but it's just you can't put it into words. It's literally everything I've worked for, the blood, sweat, and tears, the everything that I have put into this, and people have no idea. The injuries that I've fought through, most people would have quit. Especially even just since I've even started bare knuckle, most of the injuries that I've had, people would quit, and no one knows about it because I'm not going to post about it. But I am a different breed when it comes to this, and I will fight through anything I can to achieve my goal. And I think I've shown that. And just putting that into words is hard. Except that's why I let out my roar. I don't know. It's a lot. The emotion is unreal.
And just remind everybody, now the goal is to have that belt right where it is until Jessica retires. I think that's a big goal because we want to have you around for a while.
Yeah, no, you will. I'll be here for a while. I ain't even close to being done. I'm just getting started.
Three fights into BKFC, making history, doing what you're doing. Has it hit you yet? Like, got these lofty goals, but you've already accomplished so much so quickly.
That's what, yeah, I've honestly accomplished every goal that I've set out. So now I'm creating more goals. So it never ends for me. The sky's the limit. So I just create new ones. I'm a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That was a major goal in my life. World champ, major goal in my life. Like first ever knockout for female, major goal. It's I feel like I'm unstoppable. When I put my mind to something, I'm gonna achieve it.
BKFC Women's Featherweight Champion Jessica Borga, once again, truly honored to have the time to talk with you. Thank you so
Thank,
much.
no, thank you for having me.